Hello, welcome back. And this is something that I've wanted to make for quite a long time now. The only problem I had was what colours to do the board and what colours to do the chest pieces. Just decided to get on with it and pick some colours. So these white flitter flakes, I've been using them quite a lot lately. I really like them. I know that people say that putting isopropyl alcohol on the silicone moulds damages them. It probably dries them out. And I'm always telling you, go slowly. Well, it seems like I didn't take my own advice on this one. I just started pouring and yeah, now I do the cleaning up. These little squares are actually very shallow, so it doesn't take much to fill them. And it's very easy to overfill them. I ended up doing a little bit of cleaning because I didn't want any of that blue to be in the squares where I was going to pour the next colour of resin. So I did a lot of meticulous cleaning. Waited for the blue to cure, spritzed the mould again. I chose these colours because I thought they would be nice for contrast. I was surprised, however, how much resin this board takes. The board itself takes a whopping 24 ounces of resin, so be prepared for that. And did my usual heat gun. I waited for that to cure because I knew there wasn't enough and dumped on this last 10 ounces, which seemed to do the job. And then I'm moulding. As I'm always saying, this is the best part because you never really know what you're getting. You're not always completely in control of what the resin does. So I always enjoy this part. Yeah, and I really liked the way it turned out. I was happy with the colour combo. I wanted to make it stand out a bit more, the squares, the differentiation between the blue and the white. So I mixed up some gold and I just put it in between the lines. It looks really nice, the blue and the white with the gold, highlighting all the details. Yeah, this did take a while, but you get to see it sped up. And the reason that I mix the mica with the acrylic paint, I think as I've said before, is just to make it more of a paste-like consistency. It goes into the spaces better and it dries quicker because it's thicker. I did use a little bit of heat gun just to help dry it, and then went over the whole thing with wet wipes and paper towels. And if you should take off a little bit too much of your gold paint, just reapply, let it dry and take it off again. Now to the fun bit, making the pieces. So you only get so many pieces in each set, so you have to make them piecemeal. The reason I spritzed my little chest molds with isopropyl alcohol and gave them a good squish was because I wanted to make sure that the resin got into all the nooks and crannies. And it worked. I didn't have any of them with any bubbles or flaws in them at all, and none of the little pawns' heads came off. So I think I will use this method, even if it does damage the molds, because you get a better result. I also bought this little metal cradle because I thought it would make better pieces if they were suspended. I thought it was better for the stability of the pieces. I did my board white and blue, and then I used the gold to separate up the colours and put more details in. When it came to making the chest pieces, I thought I would do gold, partly to go with the gold on the board, partly because it's such a nice colour, and I decided to go with black for the other set. I didn't just want to do black and white because, you know, that's traditional. I wanted to do some colour, so that's what I did. With the king and the queen pieces, make sure when you put your isopropyl alcohol in to really squish it, because you'll see later on when I unmold these pieces, the king more than the queen is really difficult to get out of the mold. Some of these were easier to unmold than others. This one, which is the knight, was very easy. I think it was probably the easiest piece to unmold. Some of the others I struggled with. I think this little metal rack was worth the investment. Now, here was a fun piece. This is the king. And as I said, the king and the queen were difficult to unmold because they're longer than the other pieces. And I kept stretching and stretching this, and it's going white, and I was afraid I would tear it. So I had to think up something quick. Some method to get this just over that bump, and I happen to have a pair of tweezers close at hand, so that's what I used, and it was successful. It helped. But yeah, the tricky bit is the pieces that have that bump in them. That's the hard piece, the challenging piece, especially for hands like mine. You don't have a lot of power in them. But eventually. This is the Queen. Again, I used my tweezers. I don't show you the unmoulding of all the pieces because I think you'd nod off. Even though this is a very simple chest set, they have some nice details in them and I was very pleased with the way they turned out. And here's the finished gold set. I think they look really nice. They came out really well. So I think putting that isopropyl alcohol down inside the moulds really did help. And now to the black set. I won't put you through making all of these because I say you have to make both sets piecemeal anyway, but I just thought I'd show you what colour I used. I just thought I would show you the process for the black ones, exactly the same as the gold. I was really pleased because you can see it more on the black ones than you can on the gold, but the pieces come out really shiny. So the king, this would be the second time I'd used the mould. It came off a lot easier second time around, even though I did have to stretch it quite a bit. So maybe after you've used the moulds a few times, they do sort of loosen up.